Imagine walking into every stadium, knowing thousands of people would notice your face before they ever noticed your football. That was Franck Ribéry's reality. People stared. People whispered. People judged. But football has always had one beautiful habit. Football always tells the truth. Born in Boulogne-sur-Mer, France, in 1983, Ribéry's life changed before he could even remember it. As a young child, he survived a serious car accident that left deep scars across his face. Those scars stayed with him forever. Growing up wasn't easy. Children stared. Some laughed. Others asked uncomfortable questions. Every mirror reminded him he looked different. He couldn't change his appearance. So he decided to change what people remembered him for. Football. On the streets of northern France. None of that mattered. The ball didn't care what you looked like. It only cared what you could do. And Franck Ribéry could do things very few others could. He attacked defenders with fearless confidence. If one challenge stopped him, he tried again, and again, and again. Every setback made him more determined. Nothing about Ribéry's journey was easy. He wasn't fast-tracked to superstardom. He earned every opportunity. Smaller clubs, long journeys, disappointments, moments where others questioned whether he would ever reach the very top. Many players would have accepted those doubts. Ribéry never did. Football always tells the truth. His talent became impossible to ignore. At Metz, then Galatasaray, then Marseille, supporters discovered something extraordinary. A winger who played without fear. He demanded the ball. He chased defenders. He tracked back. He worked relentlessly for his teammates. Every sprint, every tackle, every dribble. He played with joy. You could see it in his smile. Football wasn't work. It was freedom. Then Bayern Munich came calling. Joining one of Europe's biggest clubs changes players. Some shrink beneath the pressure. Others become legends. Franck Ribéry chose the second path. From the moment he arrived in Munich, he electrified the Bundesliga. Defenders couldn't predict him. Supporters couldn't wait to watch him. Every time he received the ball, the stadium expected magic. More often than not, they got exactly that. He wasn't simply quick. He was explosive. His first step created space. His close control invited defenders in, only to leave them behind. He didn't play safe. He played brave, always looking forward, always believing he could beat one more man. Football always tells the truth. Soon, another winger would arrive in Munich, a player with blistering pace, an unstoppable left foot, and the same obsession with winning. Together, they would become one of football's most feared partnerships, a partnership that would terrify defenders and delight football fans around the world. Robbery. But together, they weren't just about to dominate Germany. They were about to conquer Europe. There are great partnerships, and then there are partnerships that define an era. Football had Xavi and Iniesta, York and Cole, Messi and Suarez. Bayern Munich had Robbery, Franck Ribéry, Arjen Robben. Different journeys, different personalities, one shared obsession: winning. Together, they became every defender's nightmare. Robben attacked from the right, Ribéry from the left. If one couldn't break you, the other would. Defenders doubled up. Sometimes they even tripled up. It rarely mattered. The space they created for each other was impossible to contain. One moment Ribéry was racing past a fullback. The next, Robben was cutting inside onto that famous left foot. Football always tells the truth. By 2013, Bayern Munich had become a machine. Disciplined, relentless, hungry, and at the heart of it all was Franck Ribéry. This wasn't just the best football of his career. It was football at its highest level. That season, Bayern won the Bundesliga. They won the DFB Pokal. Then came Wembley, the UEFA Champions League final. Bayern Munich against Borussia Dortmund. An all-German showdown. The biggest night in European club football. The margins were tiny. The pressure was enormous. With the score locked at 1-1. Every mistake could decide history. Every touch mattered. Every run mattered. Every decision mattered. Then Ribéry produced one moment of brilliance. Receiving the ball under pressure. He slipped an exquisite backheel into the path of Arjen Robben. Without breaking stride, Robben raced through and scored the winning goal. Wembley erupted. Bayern were champions of Europe. It wasn't just an assist. It was trust. Two teammates who knew exactly where the other would be. Weeks later, the football world debated the Ballon d'Or. Many believed Franck Ribéry had done enough. He had won everything possible. He had been Bayern's driving force. He had delivered on football's biggest stages. Yet the award went elsewhere. For many supporters, it remains one of football's greatest individual controversies. Franck Ribéry never complained. He simply carried on playing. Because football had already told the truth. The years passed. Managers changed. Teammates came and went. But Ribéry remained. Running, pressing, creating, fighting. Even when injuries became more frequent, his desire never disappeared. He refused to give less than everything. Supporters didn't love him because he was perfect. They loved him because every match felt personal. Every sprint, every tackle, every dribble. He played with the hunger of someone who still had something to prove, even after winning almost everything. Football always tells the truth. When his Bayern journey finally came to an end, he left as one of the greatest players in the club's history. A legend. A Champions League winner. Multiple Bundesliga champion. A player who helped define an era. But his legacy reached far beyond trophies. He reminded millions of people that first impressions are often wrong. That determination can overcome doubt. That character matters more than appearance. That greatness isn't given. It's earned. Some people looked at Franck Ribéry and saw only a scar. Football looked deeper. It saw courage, creativity, joy, relentless determination, and one of the greatest wingers of his generation. Children growing up today may never understand the obstacles he faced. They won't know the whispers, the stares, the assumptions. They'll remember something far more important. The dribbles, the assists, the smile, the passion, the football. Because that's what lasts. Football has celebrated faster players, more elegant players, more prolific goalscorers. But very few have played with the same fearless heart as Franck Ribéry. He didn't spend his career trying to change how people saw him. He let his football do that instead. Football always tells the truth. Franck Ribéry wasn't defined by the scar he carried. He was defined by the courage with which he carried it. That is why Franck Ribéry will always remain a true footballing icon. White down pointing backhand index. What is your favorite Franck Ribéry moment?